Probably the most important geographical feature of East Africa is an enormous fracture in the earth called the East African Rift. It consists of two main branches, the Eastern Rift Valley, which runs from Ethiopia to Mozambique, and the Western Rift Valley, which runs from Uganda to Tanzania. The Rift Valleys were created, and actually are still being created, because in this part of East Africa, a deep and very hot layer of the Earth called the Asthenosphere is pushing up from below into our planet's outer crust. As a result, one of the giant tectonic plates that make up the Earth's crust, or lithosphere, is slowly pulling apart. In this case, the African plate, which includes all of the African continent, plus a lot of the surrounding ocean areas, is dividing into two new tectonic plates, the Nubian plate and the Somalian plate. Here we see vehicles on a road that winds down along a cliff or escarpment in Tanzania that is on the edge of the Eastern Rift Valley, exactly where the African plate is splitting apart. Off in the distance is Lake Manyara, which is just one of many large lakes found in the rift valleys of East Africa. The reason there are so many lakes in the rift valleys is because the fracturing of the African tectonic plate has created several low spots in the earth where water can accumulate. The biggest rift valley lakes are Lake Victoria, Lake Malawi, and Lake Tanganyika. This satellite view shows Lake Tanganyika, which lies along the borderlands of Tanzania and Burundi. Lake Tanganyika is the second largest freshwater lake in the world based on the volume of water it holds. And this picture shows Lake Victoria, which is located in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Lake Victoria is Africa's largest lake and is the Earth's second largest freshwater lake in terms of its surface area. The Nile River begins in Lake Victoria. Besides the lakes and valleys created by the East African Rift, many volcanic mountains are closely associated with it too, including 17,000-foot Mount Kenya, seen here, which is the second tallest peak in Africa. Volcanic mountains like this one formed over a period of millions of years as a result of the same extreme heat and pressure that is causing the African tectonic plate to split apart. The most famous of the East African Rift peaks is 19,341-foot Mount Kilimanjaro, seen here, which rises up near the border of Tanzania and Kenya. Mount Kilimanjaro is the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. It's important to note that, due to recent alterations in the Earth's climate, Mount Kilimanjaro's huge ice fields are rapidly disappearing and are expected to vanish entirely in the next 25 years, an event that will undoubtedly have a disastrous effect on the supply of fresh water to the lands that surround it. 2 to 3 million years ago, a volcanic peak similar in size to Mount Kilimanjaro exploded and collapsed in on itself to form the 2,000-foot-deep Ngorongoro crater, seen here. It covers about 100 square miles, which makes it the largest intact, inactive volcanic caldera in the world. The crater's floor is mostly open grasslands, along with a shallow lake and a few small woodlands. Today, it is one of the most important conservation areas in Tanzania, a magical place where tens of thousands of wild animals of many different species roam freely about. Zebras live here, as well as elephants, ostriches, lions, African buffalo, wildebeests, rhinos, and lots of other amazing creatures, like jackals, hyenas, and warthogs. A few hours' drive from Ngorongoro crater along a bumpy dirt road takes you to Olduvai Gorge, one of the most important archaeological sites in the world. It's the place where traces of the first human beings and their even more ancient pre-human ancestors were discovered. Excavations in these small rocky canyons have turned up stone tools and fossil remains that are as much as 1,900,000 years old. Scientific studies of these fascinating relics have shed a great deal of light on how the human species developed.